Oye sí, de nuevo aquí Rodríguez para ti. Tú sabes qué cosa es el
Hello guys, Brenna here, and I'm glad to tell you that I have received my Blue Yeti microphone, and I'm very happy that I've received it. It looks fantastic. It's absolutely huge, and at the end of this I'm gonna include a photo of it. And so now we're gonna go, and I'm gonna read you out the 14 facts about a new generation Xbox 720. I'm gonna read out the way it is from this Xbox World magazine. I'm not gonna summarize it or nothing. So the first fact is massive power. Microsoft Durango development kits are already in developers' hands, and the CPU at the heart of the machine is a monster. Where 360 has a 3-core CPU from 2005, Durango promises a 4 hardware cores, each divided into 4 logical cores, a spec greater than anything even the most hardcore gamer has on his desktop. Well, I don't know what about you, but that to me sounds really promising. I hope that it's actually going to be the way they're saying it's going to be. On paper, the 360 specs are still very respectable, says Matt Ploher, Senior Product Planner on NVIDIA's Consumer Applications Product Team. It has 3 cores clocked roughly at 3.2 GHz each, and the newer 360s have a 45 nm chip, using less power. However, it's not until you really start digging that the bigger advancements that have been made in CPU architectures start becoming more apparent. Today, a next-gen console would likely want to use the latest and the greatest architecture it could order to sustain itself over another 5 to 10 year time frame. Specification-wise, we'd end up with a 22 to 28 nm chip, another processing core at roughly the same clock speeds, a sachet that is not only faster but 4 times bigger, 6 times the number of transistors, while keeping in the same ballpark or better for power constraints. That's not too shabby, and it doesn't even begin to cover the fact graphics can occupy space on the same physical die and easily match the current generation graphics performance. Moving on to fact number 2, putting the power to work. So you've got all this extra power, what can you do with it? We can simulate more things and simulate those things better, says Simon Mack, Chief Tech Man at Natural Motion, the Cambridge-based studio behind GTA IV's physics. You get more physics, you get better fidelity. We can expect to see more simulated characters and richer worlds. We can start to look at having more complex characters under simulation with more complex interactions, and can add more things, hair and cloth and that sort of thing. This all helps to increase believability. Right now, game environments are generally restricted and straightforward, simulated objects. Having a greater level of physical simulation means you can have more detailed interactions with it. At its most basic, how about destruction of objects and cloth and so on? That means your character can affect the world in more detailed and interesting way, as well as have the world affect the character. As you go up the number of possible interactions in the game, it becomes harder to manage the gameplay. That's the challenge many developers will face, but we think that will benefit gameplay in coming years. Moving on to fact number 2, Connect 2.0. Connect 2.0 tracks up to 4 players and can even read the smallest movements of your fingers, thanks to advancements in camera technology and the additional processing grunt rumors suggest. But there are Microsoft technologies which will feed into the next generation Microsoft's often dubious motion sensors. For the last couple of years, we have explored how depth sensing cameras to enable interactions on surfaces in the environment, says Microsoft researcher Benko. His device, OmniTouch, turns any surface into an interactive touchscreen using the projector or potentially augmented reality specs. Coupled with a Pico projector, one can turn anything into an interactive surface, where it's possible to track fingers in midair and reasons about their collisions with other objects, thus simulating the multi-touch interactions from smartphones to slates. Coupled with a miniature projector and Benko's tech, the next Xbox could project a board game right into your coffee table or give a virtual keyboard at any time, but even that's thinking small compared with Microsoft have in mind. Now, moving on to fact number 4. Augmented reality. Microsoft's leaked planning document detailed plans to turn the next Xbox into a full augmented reality system, with new peripheral planned for 2014. The new AR specs would work alongside Kinect or OmniTouch to turn your living room into a virtual reality environment, in which game characters could appear and even interact with objects in the real world. Most of the time, we don't directly pursue the productization and miniaturization steps, but demonstrating the capabilities of the technology, says OmniTouch researcher Benko. But I see no reason OmniTouch couldn't eventually end up in a pair of glasses. I am very hopeful that within a few years we'll see more augmented reality technologies in widespread use. I see many opportunities ranging from simply translating the existing games to making them work on many other non-digital surfaces, to completely new games that leverage your personal view, location, body, or environment to create more compelling games. In our Beamatron project, we have already demonstrated driving virtual RC cars around the living room, making jumps of couch, and behaving just like a real car. The next Xbox could do something as small as place Master Chief's hood right in front of your eyes, or even bring the action of the screen right into your living room. Moving on to fact number 5. 3D sound. Augmented reality is powerful, but to build a real virtual world, you'll want characters who appear and speak to you with location-specific audio. Impossible? Nope. The technology already exists for specialists. The effect of 3D sound is astonishing, says Tuwen Pham, CEO of a valued 3D sound projects. You're in the axis of speaker and you hear the sound. You move your head a little bit and the sound disappears. The hardware components in our technology are too expensive to be used in consumer products, though with mass production having a device on top of or under your TV set can be something accessible for a major brand. Microsoft are the major brand, and Microsoft Research has already demonstrated their own directional sound prototype, a rack of 16 speakers all working together to a project sound into a small area, coupled with Connect head tracking, and speakers could project audio not only you can hear, making headphones a thing of the past. Might the tech be intended for the next Xbox? We put the idea to Pham, who has some ideas about how it could work. The consumer device looks like a 10 by 20 centimeter panel with a thickness of 1 centimeter. It could be placed anywhere, and I think the application of such technology for a game console is clear. However, after checking our legal department, I can't disclose that. We're working with a gaming company, but the information I could give is under NDA. Moving on to fact number 6, Blu-ray and beyond. The next Xbox should ship with Blu-ray drive as standard, allowing for games up to 50 gigabytes on a single disc, without PS3's current problems with the tech, namely slow seek times and increased loading times. Modern Blu-ray drives are faster than their 2006 equivalents, and Microsoft will use the latest tech they can they can source at a sensible price. One rumor is that the first slim version of the new Xbox will drop the optical drive altogether in favor of download-only platform scheduled for 2015. The slim Xbox, if it comes to pass, would be scheduled for a post-disc world where broadband speeds and network caps have advanced to point that a 20 and 30 gigabyte download would be manageable on even an average home connection. For now, the UK's broadband isn't up to the job, and it's not alone. Online video provider Netflix recently deemed Canada a third world country when it comes to broadband. There are only a few PC and console games which go over 25 gigabyte. The bigger PS3's games tend to duplicate data on the disk to reduce seek times, but expect games to grow big enough to fill Blu-rays as the next generation matures. And now, fact number 7, DirectX 11. It's safe to bet that the next Xbox is going to be DirectX 11 capable, says Nvidia's Matt Plohar. DX11 is Microsoft's own programming interface which unlocks incredible next-generation effects in modern PC games. We're all in store for some amazing treats graphically when the next round of games start ramping up to really exploiting DirectX 11. By default in both the consoles and PC versions, he says. We're only seeing the tip of iceberg on PC right now, but I already think most console gamers will be amazed what they're actually missing out on Arkham City, Battlefield 3, Crysis 2, Dirt 3, and Stalker, Call of Pripyat, or just taste of what's to come. And in order to see most of that eye candy, you really have to dial things up beyond what the current console are capable of. This means higher resolutions, sharper textures, more anti-aliasing, tessellation, etc. It's hard to describe, but check out Epic's saturation demo and the year's Unreal 4 demo. A good part of these game engine technologies will trickle down into the next console generation. And now, moving on to fact number 8. A new Microsoft. Microsoft's need to respond to Xbox Live's biggest problems, the ones that hit developers first one day, gamers second. In that dev, Phil Fish decided against patching Fez because patching on Xbox is $10,000 job, too much for most small developers. Live's big problems come from Microsoft's side, and the next generation Xbox will require friendlier Microsoft if it becomes home to games like Valve's ever-evolving shooter Team Fortress 2 or multiplayer battle arena League of Legends, the biggest game in the world and one which grows with its players base. For competitive multiplayer, title like ours, it's important to react fast to the player base and address exploits, says Monday Night Combat's Canada Ikanike. But our first patch took 35 days, and the first DLC took 34 days before it went live after we sent Microsoft. For our PC beta on Monday Night Combat, we did 30 updates on a weekly basis and sometimes even twice a week. On 360, Ubisoft and all the other publishers out there have to choose whether it's worth the cost associated with putting out a title update, says Ubisoft's Stewart White, producer on Ghost Recon. It's easy decision in a new future will take a week to make a generate an extra 30,000 sales, but it's more difficult when it's going to take 3 months. Then you start getting into costs, benefits, analysis, situation. Cheaper and easier patching will open games up to better downloadable content and more creative ideas from developers. And cutting down on all that red tape. Yeah, of course, I like that, says White. There's a lot of forms you have to fill out. You need to get a specific identification number before you can submit your DLC, and sometimes you don't even know where to go to find that number. And now guys, we're moving on to fact number 9. Next generation controls. Rumors suggest Microsoft Next controller is still in the prototype stages, with some models featuring touchscreens and others featuring portable buttons. No, not portable, sorry, programmable buttons. Controller technology has changed enough in the last 7 years to make the Xbox controller a rapidly different device, says Min Lang Tan, CEO of gaming preferable firm Razer. In 2005, the Xbox 360 controller was big improvement from original Xbox controller in terms the ergonomics and durability, and Microsoft's made huge improvements in their morphing D-pad. I think the next development will be adding buttons gamers can map freely for individual customization, he says. That means your friend who insists on playing Halo with green thumb and inverted stick won't have to mess around in the menus. When you pass the pad, we haven't looked into how much it would cost to build a touchscreen controller at Razer, but I imagine it would be quite expensive, anywhere upwards of $99 to $150 would be my best bet, similar to Nintendo's price tag for their Wii U controller. Then there are a lot of things you can imagine doing with a secondary screen. Though when playing a console, the gamer's eyes are focused on TV, and the distance to the controller is quite large. That's a problem. Controller technology has advanced so far, Microsoft could take it anywhere. Maybe it could withstand the rage quitting throws because made of Kevlar fibers, or have a flexible material that moors the gamer's hand shape like a built-in stress ball for when you lose around online. And now moving on to fact number 10, cloud gaming. In the same leaked document which sets out 5-year roadmap for the next generation of Xbox, Microsoft listed cloud gaming provider online as acquisition target. OnLive's service let players stream games over the internet for a monthly fee with minimal lag, but the company went bankrupt in August, and Microsoft didn't opt to buy. Instead, they hosted a Mixer OnLive staff on August 27th, with the aim of adding the key players who want to make a real impact in creating groundbreaking new products and services. Sony have their own cloud gaming provider, having dropped $380 million or and £37 million on Gaikai, with intention of bringing Gaikai's cloud streaming tech to PlayStation. Microsoft usually prefer to build from scratch whenever they can, so expect Microsoft's homegrown effort to appear on the next gen Xbox and every other device you own, effectively turning your phone, TV, PC, and tablet into an extension of your console. Any device could become a host for your games and your saves, played locally on the next gen Xbox or streamed straight from Microsoft's cloud. And now, guys, we're moving on to fact number 11: Live 3.0 new user features. The next Xbox should introduce a new version of Live with better support for social networking and free to play or subscription based games. Those are essentials, but online developers have ideas too. Microsoft has best digital distribution network on a console with Xbox Live, but it's not very flexible in the rapidly changing environment, says Chanada Ikanawaka. I'm sorry if I pronounced the surname wrong or the name wrong. Executive producer on Monday Night Combat at Uber Entertainment. I'd like to see better discoverability for games on the dashboard, as well as faster methods of updating a game with more control to the developer. Removing the 100 friend limit is a must, and Microsoft have to better integrate the Xbox Live features across the multiple platforms, whether it to be console, mobile, tablet, or desktop PC. I think that increasing the size of friends list only helps, says Ubisoft's Stuart White, PvP producer on Ghost Recon and Future Soldier. If you raise that cap, then more people can share what they're playing, and I would love to see a hard drive for all models of the next generation of Xbox, so we can do what we can do on the PS3. We're currently limited at times when it comes to the amount of information we can push, title, update, or DLC. And now we're moving on to fact number 12: total multimedia. With the latest version of the 360 dashboard, Microsoft have already taken steps to turn Xbox into complete hub for their own music and TV series. I think with the next generation Xbox, we'll see a shift towards Microsoft's tightly integrated the software and services that power Windows Phone and Windows 8, says the Verge senior editor Tom Warren. The end result will likely be a greater focus on presenting Skype and Connect as a competitor to Apple's FaceTime, and Xbox Music to take on Amazon and Apple's iTunes. Microsoft leaked document hints that an always-on console taken to its logical extreme. Imagine that your next Xbox taking place on Skype Plus box with a TV input and output. What if saying Xbox BBC 2 or tapping the button on your mobile phone's Smart Glass app let you change channels or record video straight through your console? Microsoft has a strong footing in the living room right now, primarily from Xbox 360 and Kinect, and Smart Glass is a clear play by Microsoft to control the living room with its content partners, says Warren. The cross-platform support will aid it in a short and long term. Now moving on to fact number 13, the user interface. Metro is far from perfect user interface, as this month's future points out, but Metro is here to stay, and will be the way you interact with Windows 8, Windows Phone, and next generation Xbox. Microsoft Andy Les commented during the 2011 Worldwide Partner Conference that the company wants to provide a consistent experience across all of its products, including Xbox, says Tom Warren, tech expert and senior editor at The Verge. It's clearly an important piece of Microsoft's future, and the company is even using it across their new Outlook mail system and the new version of Microsoft Office. I think you'll have to keep an eye on Windows 8 to see how that influences Xbox. A more precise connect means smaller titles and more content available on each page of the dash, but Windows 8's Metro interface is already proven unpopular, so Microsoft will have to take a year of feedback into account when the latest version of Metro hits the next Xbox. And now moving on to our 14th fact and the last fact, always on gaming. However, Microsoft's most powerful feature for next generation Xbox might be no switching off. The next Xbox should be always on console, where the key games will be ready to go at a moment's notice. Throughout the leaked planning document, Microsoft constantly referenced multiple experiences at once or their own, be that via cloud streaming to multiple devices, games with rich online content, or actually using your Xbox to switch between media. Microsoft want a kind of speed you get from a mobile device, but on the big screen, breaking down the barriers between players and the game, switching between Kinect Sports 3 and Halo 5 as easily as you change channels on your TV. You can't remove the loading times altogether so long as games need to load in new assets, but by keeping certain games preloaded, you can have your favorite titles ready to go at moment's notice. That takes a lot of power and a lot of RAM, 8 GB of it. Rumors suggest there's no reason a high-end game can't flush and memory to squeeze in huge textures and big worlds, but other games will use memory for always on gaming. Apple's iOS has changed things for Sony and Microsoft, and the next gen might be defined as much as immediacy and accessible as it is by huge worlds, high-end graphics, and revolutionary online play. So that's all, guys. As I promised, all the 14 facts about the new generation Xbox 720, and also leave me a comment of what you think is good and bad about it, and also let me know how is my voice now with a Blue Yeti microphone. And here's the picture of the Blue Yeti microphone standing on my desk. Thank you for watching. Brian out.